Good afternoon. What I want to talk about is in my last video, I had done a super simple project. It was just a piece of cherry that I planed down and drilled some holes in and sawed it to length, and I made a flag holder with that. But going on to talking about simple projects, there are actual pieces of furniture. What I have here is it's just a box made of home center oak that I'm working on. Let's see if we can get in here. There's dado, joinery, dowels acting as a sort of mechanical fastener, front and back. And the bottom it's just a plywood bottom, and it's grooves to hold that plywood bottom. What I was initially going to do with this, my original plans, I should say, for this wood, where I was going to make a box with two drawers, and the drawers were going to hold, if you maybe remember, if you watch my last video, I have a fairly large collection of historical letters and documents that I subscribe to a company that sends them. So I wanted to make a little box, something fairly simple, that I can lay them out flat in and hold and keep them. So because my daughter does use them for school, and I enjoy reading them as well. So initially I was going to make two drawers and keep them folded, but then I decided to maybe laying them flat would be easier to sort of catalog them. And what I was going to do was a dovetailed box, but the two reasons I didn't: one, I wanted, if you've ever dovetailed an oak, it's not really easy. Oak doesn't compress. Dovetails really need to compress to fit nicely. And if you don't saw dovetails, if you don't saw your tails and pins almost perfectly, they won't fit together right. They'll either be too tight, or you take one tiny shaving off with a chisel and they're too loose. There's a gap. It's very weird. I think maybe I showed you on my desk. I have a box. It sort of looks like a replica little library box that you would see, a little card catalog. That initially was going to be double that size. It was going to be two card catalogs with a divider in the middle. And what happened was the pin boards. I do tails first for the most part. So when I did the pin boards, the two pins on the right side, both top and bottom, there were gaps, and I didn't want to fill them in with putty or anything like that. So I ended up sawing it in half and redoing it, but it took a real long time. It's not like sawing dovetails in poplar or pine, where you can sort of make them fit, because pine or even poplar will compress so nicely, which is how you really want them to fit. You want them to go in a little snug and sort of like bite onto each other. And when you glue them up, it sort of swells up a little bit, and it really makes a strong joint. With hardwoods, especially with oak, that is a little bit more difficult to do. So I really wanted to concentrate on doing a beginner project that anybody with a little bit of experience who watches these videos might be able to tackle. And another thing was the box here. I did not glue down the bottom or nail it down yet, because I have some other things I want to do as of yet. But I did this whole project cost about, including, I have to go pick up new hinges. The hinges I have here aren't going to work, but including hinges, and I think I'm going to do a latch on the front, including hinges and a latch, and the wood, and the dowel, the 1/4 inch oak dowel, the entire project is under $40, including tax, U.S. dollars. So, and that's, I mean, I'm using wood that I had here, but I know what the board I used, one 2 foot by 2 foot by 6 inch by half-inch piece of oak, one 2 by 3.5. I'm sorry, half-inch by 3.5 wide by 1 foot long. And this, I had a scrap piece of plywood that I used. If you have to find a bottom, you're going to spend a little bit more than that, but you can get a piece of oak plywood for about $10 that would fit this. So still, hardware material, definitely under $50 for this project. And I'm not saying you should build this project. I'm building this to fit a specific need in my house. What I'm saying is, maybe shoot for a project of this skill level. It has, as I said, you have dowels front and back. Now this isn't even. See if I didn't do this. There we go. This is not attached yet either. Dowels are nice in this sense because they help you line up. Like I wanted a half-inch overhang on each side of the top shelf, and they really help you align everything, and they help you align with when you're doing your glue up, that things can start sliding and whatnot when you put your clamps down. So these dowels help you glue up more accurately. Another nice thing about this type of joinery here, which is basic, very basic dado joinery, is if you're accurate, it's very difficult. Well, put it this way: if you're accurate, it will help your box be a lot. The squareness of your box is a lot more guaranteed, so to speak, than it would be if you were trying to do butt joints or even dovetails, for that matter. I haven't measured this yet, but I'm certain that it's accurate because this bottom piece here is sawn perfectly square. I used a table saw to saw it, but we will double check it here. So I have 17 3/16 exactly from that corner to corner. And 17 3/16 exactly. Maybe I should be the safe and say it. You're probably going to be pretty difficult, but sorry for my horrible camera work here. But there is 17 3/16. And hopefully you can see that too. So right on the money. And that is not because I am a particularly skilled sawyer. It is because the dados are nice and square. That really will help your project maintain squareness. So what I'm, unfortunately, I ran out of time this morning. I have some oops. I have a panel I'm gluing up to make the rest of the front lid. And what I'm gonna have to do is I edge jointed it, put the two boards together. Once they are dry, I'll probably wait till later on in the day to do this. Hopefully, I'm going to let them sit for a good 3 or 4 hours. And I just glued them up about 45 minutes ago. So what I'm going to do is saw that board in half once the glue is dried, and then edge join them again, and then make the wide panel, and then I'll be able to cut it to length and width. And I will probably attach pseudo breadboard ends using these and some wood dowel, the 1/4-inch dowels again. This board has been, this wood has been sitting in my garage for well over a year, so it's nice and stable. I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it moving around too. If it hasn't moved now, it's not going to move. This garage is not climate controlled, so in the summer it gets very humid, and in the winter it gets pretty cold. And it has survived a full 4 seasons. So if you and forgive me if you hear a noise in the background, a hum. That is I had done a little bit of sanding on this prior to filming, and thankfully it didn't need much. But I usually run the dust filtrator for about an hour after I sand, just to help get any particles out of the air. And another thing, I'm almost certain you won't be able to see this, but maybe you can see your cabinet matrix triangle. It's faded now because I started to erase it. But just to little things like that. This is what's nice about little projects like this. They really teach you. Building a box, what you think is very simple, is really not. It teaches you a lot about woodworking, like doing your layout, accurate joints, making sure your sequence is correct, accurate drilling with your dowels. I use this drill here to do that, but you can do it with a hand drill if you prefer. I don't really see the benefit of doing it with a hand drill, but if you're trying not to use any electricity, then that might be your best option. And I did, I planed all the edges smooth. I did not plane this whole box. The only things I planed, if I saw really noticeable machine marks, and I took a really light pass with a smoothing plane. And I will have to plane. I will go around give this whole top a really light once over, just to make sure everything it actually feels really, really good, but just to be on the safe side. So I'm hoping to get the lid finished tomorrow and possibly attached. I think I should be able to do it. If that is the case, I will film another video showing the finished box, and well, at least the construction portion of the box finished. Maybe I'll talk about adding some decorative elements to it. We'll see. Maybe some chamfering and things like that. But yeah, this type of project, if you're just starting out, I think it's this level of project's a really great thing to start off with. A box, some dado joinery, maybe some dowels, or even decorative nails if you want to go that route. You learn a lot about basic planing your boards all one width. Even if you're using a table saw, which I did to rip these two boards in half, but I did plane them to width just to make sure that they were perfectly accurate. Stuff like that. This is where a project like this will really begin to teach you some of the fundamentals of woodworking, and it's not too expensive, and you're not making you're not attempting to make this really complicated piece of furniture on your first effort. So maybe give something like this a try, and as I said, I will try to get this hopefully buttoned up tomorrow, and then I'll talk about adding a finish and whatnot. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks, and have a great day.